Hello, in this video I'm going to explain exponents and factors. So in this problem here, it says identify the base and exponent and then simplify the expression. So there's going to be some terminology in this section here. Okay, so we have this odd looking thing. This 10 down here, this 10 is called the base. And then this 2 up here, raised up here, it's a superscript. It's called the exponent, or sometimes it's called the power. All right, so this number down here is the base. The lower part is the base. The upper part is the exponent or the power. So the base is really just the number. This is the number we're looking at. Okay, we're looking at the number 10. We're looking at the number 10. So the question is, what is this thing here? Okay, the exponent. The exponent simply says, how many times do you multiply the base by itself? So in other words, 2 for this example means we're going to take the base and multiply it by itself 2 times. So the way you would write that would be 10 times 10. Okay, 10 times 10. So that's really what the base and exponent is. Now we'll get into this a little bit more later on, but right here for this example, we just wanted to know what is the base and what is the exponent. So let's identify the base, which is 10. And then the exponent is 2. Now, they want us to simplify the expression. The word expression is used in math whenever you have just some numbers that are being added, subtracted, multiplied, divided, or something to a power, or this and that and the other. They call it an expression. So get used to that. You'll see that word a lot. So what do they want us to do here? They want us to simplify the expression. Simplify. Another word you're going to hear a lot of. Simplify pretty much means whatever it is that you're doing, finish it off and give me the answer. What is the answer? Right here, we're multiplying 10 times 10. They want us to simplify it. They want to know, well, what is the answer of 10 times 10? And 10 times 10 is 100. So that is the simplified expression of what we were doing. All right, so 10 to the second power is the same as 10 times 10, which is the same as 100. You can actually go from here to here. It depends on what the problem is. So in math later on in your studies, you'll be going from here straight to here. What is the answer to that? All right, so let's keep moving. Okay, so more terminology. Evaluate. Evaluate and simplify are pretty synonymous for this example. Evaluate has more of a specific meaning in Math 50, certain sections of Math 50, which you'll see next semester or whenever you take it. But in this case, evaluate really means simplify, or what is the answer? Okay, what is the answer? Okay, well, what is the answer? Well, we know that 14 to the third power, or 13 to the exponent of 3, is the same as 14 times 14 times 14. Now, in order to find the answer to that, we definitely have to use multiplication techniques we learned before. Okay, so we have to say, all right, first, Let's take two of these 14s. So 14 times 14. Well, what is that? 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. Add 6, 9, 1. Now we multiplied two 14s, but we need to multiply three 14s. So we got to take this answer and multiply it with that last 14. So 196, which is the answer to this one, times the last 14. Six times 4, 24. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 2 is 38. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. Add 4. 8 and 6 is 14. 8 and 9 is 17. 1 and 1 is 2. So we evaluated 14 to the third power, and the answer we got is 2,744. All right, now here they don't want us to simplify. You see that? It doesn't say simplify, it doesn't say evaluate, it doesn't say any of that. Instead, what it says is, what is the meaning of this expression? So here, if you're not sure, you can always look at help, right? You can always look at help real quick and just kind of scan through here. What do they want me to do? Let me see. Let me hit continue because I forgot, you know. Oh, that's what they want me to do. Okay, that's what they want me to do. So you can always look at help to see what they want you to do. So here they're saying, what does this really mean? Well, 5 to the third power has the same meaning as 5 times 5 times 5. This and this is the same thing. Now, they didn't say to simplify, so don't show 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. Don't show that. They just want you to show the meaning of this expression. Okay, so this is the base, which is 5. There it is. It's going to be multiplied by itself 3 times. There it is, 1, 2, 3 times. So this is what they want. And this dot, by the way, it's not a period. This dot is up here in the middle of the 5, this dot. Dot means multiplication, right? All right, so let's put that in there. This is what they're looking for, and let's make sure. So 5, and here's the dot they want right here. Don't use the period on your keyboard right here, this dot. Dot 5, dot 5. Okay, now they're saying for the following factored form, find the exponential notation and the simplified value. So it's a two-part problem, looks like. Okay, now let's write this down first. 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. More terminology. Factored form. Whenever you see the word factored, factor means two numbers that multiply each other. So for example, 2 times 3 is equal to 6. 6 is the product. It's the result of multiplying. If we were to ask, what are the factors of 6? You would say 2 and 3. Because 2 times 3 is 6. These are called factors, which means these are factors because these are numbers that are multiplied together. That's what makes them factors. So that's what they mean by factored form. This is in factored form. What do they want us to do? They want us to switch factored form to exponential notation. Exponential notation, right? It's this thing we did earlier. This is exponential notation because we have an exponent there. Now, it's not going to be, our base is not 10 here. Our base is 8. So our base is 8. And what do we put for the exponent? What do you think? 4, you said. Correct. And this 4 comes from the fact that we're multiplying the base 4 times over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's the base 8, and we're multiplying the base 8 by 4 times over, and that's the 4. So here, let's put a to the 4th power. So type in 8, and then you see this little symbol down here, right there. If you hover over some of these symbols, it'll tell you what they are. You want this thing, this superscript. And then you can type it in there. And by the way, superscript and some of these other symbols, do you see that other symbol here? Oops, can't, on the right there. The caret, that's a shortcut on the keyboard. So a lot of these have shortcuts on keyboards, just so you know. All right, so we typed in a to the 4th power, and let's make sure that works. It does. Now it's part B of the question. Now they want us to find the simplified value of a to the 4th power, or 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. All right, well, you know what? I'm going to use some multiplication facts that I know. And what I know that 8 times 8 is 64, right? Because we learned that already. I know that 8 times 8 is 64 times, I know that 8 times 8 is 64. So all I got to do now is just multiply 64 times 64 to save me some time, instead of keep multiplying by 8 all the time. Okay? So 4 times 4 is 16. 6 times 4, 24, plus 1 is 25. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 6 is 36, plus 2 is 38. Add 6, 9, 10, 4. 4096. Okay, so let's see what they want us to do here. A lot of words, right? So just read carefully here. It says the exponential notation for numbers given as 7 to the 3rd power. Okay, 7 to the 3rd power. So it looks like a 2-part problem. Let's do part A first, and we'll worry about B second. Let's do part A. Find the factored form of 7 to the 3rd. Now they use slash repeated multiplication, which is what factored form is, right? Earlier we saw 8 times 8 times 8 times 8 is factored form, but it's really repeated multiplication. So what they want you to do here is take 7 to the 3rd and just simply rewrite it in factored form. Well, we know how to do that. 7 is the number we want, but we have to repeat it 3 times with multiplication. So this exponent serves as a shortcut. So you might be thinking, why have that? It's a shortcut. What would happen if we had 7 to the 38th power? Do you feel like multiplying 7 38 times? I don't, and neither does any other mathematician. So yeah, it's a nice shortcut to repeated multiplication. All right, so part A looks like is done. We just got to type it in there. So let's see if that works. So 7.7.7. Okay, part B. What do they want us to do? Find the standard form, more verbiage, more terminology in math. It's important that you understand the terminology, to be honest with you, because that could be a source of confusion. I remember when I was a student, not knowing the terminology made it harder to learn math because I wasn't sure what they were asking. Standard form is just a number. It's a number. It's 58 is a number. It's in standard form. So what do they really want us to do here? What they really want us to do is simplify, evaluate, find the standard form, all mean the same thing for this example. So we got to basically multiply 7 times 7 times 7 and put that in here. Now, for multiplication tables, I know that 7 times 7 is 49. So all I really got to do is multiply 49 by 1 more 7 to get my answer. 9 times 7 is 63. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 plus 6 is 34. So 343 should be what they're looking for. All right, so this looks similar to the one we just did, just a different number. Actually, no, here we went from exponential notation to factored form, and now we're doing the opposite. Okay, all right. So here, we're given a number in factored form, 10 times 10 times 10, and they want us to find the exponential notation for this. Well, we know that 10 is the base. We know that 10 is the base, so it goes down here. What goes up here? It's the exponent. It's how many times 10 is multiplied by itself. Once, twice, 3 times. 10 is multiplied by itself 3 times. So this is 10 to the third power, or you can say it as this is the exponential notation version of this. It's the exponential notation version of that. So we got to type in 10 to the third power in here. So we're just kind of switching back and forth so you can get used to the different notations used in math. Click your superscript and then put 3. And part B to this problem. The standard form for 10 times 10 times 10 is, again, here standard form in this context means simplify, evaluate, or what is the answer of 10 times 10 times 10. Now, I know from multiplication tables that 10 times 10 is 100. All I got to do is multiply that 100 with this other 10 to get my answer. I see 3 zeros to the right of the digits here, ending zeros, right ending zeros, and 0 times anything is 0, so I'm going to bring them down. And then I'm going to multiply the non-zero digits. 1 times 1 is 1, and we're done. $1,000 should be what they're looking for. All right, so that's how you examine exponential notation and factors. If you like my content, click on the like button, post your comments, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.